Donald Trump is having a catastrophic Memorial Day morning. He's attacking former presidents. He's demanding that all Arab nations enter into formal alliances with Israel. If the United States is going to make a deal with Iran, the precondition is all Arab nations must enter the Abraham Accords with Israel. He then attacks other Republicans. Utterly deranged morning. State regime media, which calls itself Fox, tries to normalize it, and they just start posting his message and going, Donald Trump's Memorial Day message, the Democrats, everybody. Here's what they said on state regime media so you can see for yourself. Then let's dig into what's really going on. Let's play this clip.
The president has also shared his thoughts on the holiday, posting earlier today on Truth Social. He said, Happy Memorial Day to all, including the Democrats who are disrespectful to our military and all the tremendous success that has had over the last year. God bless those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. I love you all. Not too far from the White House, there's a special parade underway.
So Donald Trump's message this morning was Happy Memorial Day to all, including the Democrats who disrespect our military. I mean, utterly putrid language by a truly pathetic and vile piece of trash who occupies the Oval Office on this Memorial Day. And just every day, just horrifying to have that individual there. He then posts the following meme of himself, J.D. Vance, Rubio, and Hegseth. And then it says, we are in good hands. That's how you're talking about Memorial Day, with images of you and your horrible cabinet and saying we're in good hands. And he posts an image of former President Biden and Obama and says the two worst presidents in American history. You know, when he makes posts like that, in addition to it just being false, I mean, he's the single worst, and it's evidenced by his polling numbers as well and his actions on a daily basis. It just utterly weakens our country. And on a day like Memorial Day, when we should be bringing people together, his behavior once again is not only absurd and degrading, it's weak. And frankly, it's very pathetic. He then posts this image. It's images of Obama and Biden. And then next to, I guess, I don't know who was next to him. This is how he depicts Iran in a very racist way. Let's negotiate. I will blow shit up. And then Biden, let's negotiate. I will blow shit up is what the terrorist then says. And then Donald Trump goes, I will blow shit up. Let's negotiate. Yeah, not exactly what went down. You can say, I will blow shit up, Donald. Then you lose control of the Strait of Hormuz. Then you want to make a deal that's far weaker than the Obama JCPOA. You ruin all of American alliances across the globe. And then you harm the American people ability to afford anything. And you have the lowest approval in presidential history, worse than Nixon at the time that Nixon resigned. And by the way, Donald Trump doesn't stop there. This is how he's spending the morning. He then makes this post right here about it's an AI meme of Obama with a pile of cash. And then Trump said, don't forget the one who funded Iran and caused this war to happen, Obama. This is part of Donald Trump's fraud debt cycle, you know, where he comes up with this flashy announcement and he's like, epic fury, here's what we're going to do. He faces adversity. The Strait of Hormuz gets closed. He then tries to defraud stakeholders. He bankrupts our country. He bankrupts the world. And then he tries to blame someone. It was Obama who got us into this war. Yeah, Obama, who hasn't been president since 2016 or 2015. He got us into this war that you and Netanyahu launched together. Obama kept us out of this war. And then you show this image of Obama with a pile of cash. Obama didn't fund Iran. By the way, you're funding Iran. You've removed the sanctions against Russian oil and Iranian oil, actually affirmatively funding Iran, if you want to say who's funding Iran. Obama unfroze a certain category of assets that already belong to Iran so that Iran would agree in a multilateral way not to get nuclear weapons, and the whole world was able to secure that deal without a war that killed people. How about that? Then Donald Trump continues to make more posts. The Democrats have bad policy. Then he attacks Republicans, the rhinos, Tom Tillis, Bill Cassidy, Thomas Massey. I'm not going to even go into that one, right? And then he makes this post where he says Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, and Pakistan must sign the Abraham Accords as a condition of the Iran deal. Now, these countries do not support any normalization of relationships with Israel until there is a two-state solution, until Palestine is recognized by Israel, until the genocide stops. Unless and until there is a two-state solution, these countries said, we're not normalizing our relation. We're not doing Abraham Accords, which is opening up, formal direct relationships with Israel. And the popularity in these countries to do an Abraham Accords deal or an Abraham Accords style deal with Israel, it's like 1% approval, 2% approval. And the leaders of these Arab nations, though, if they do that, they'd probably be toppled as well by their people. This is a very sensitive issue in the Middle East, and there's already very sensitive negotiations that Pakistan and these Middle East nations have worked with Iran in order to try to secure at least somewhat of a more enduring peace, despite Donald Trump and Netanyahu being utter genocidal maniacs at this point. You know the key terms of the deal that was talked about 2 days ago that Donald Trump is already going back on because Netanyahu and the war hawks all were up his throat. Just so you remember what the terms were: 60-day ceasefire extension while a final peace deal is negotiated. Iran reopens the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days and clears mines. U.S. lifts its naval blockade of Iranian ports. U.S. releases at least $12 billion in frozen Iranian assets, although I've heard as much as $25 billion to $50 billion, which is currently held in Qatar. Mind you, the Iranian foreign minister, Araghchi, is in Qatar right now. This is Iran's strict precondition for signing, because they know that if the United States doesn't release the assets, doesn't release the funds, and they open the Strait of Hormuz, that Donald Trump, as a bad faith negotiator, as a total fraud, will never allow the deal to actually go forward. Iran commits at some later time not to pursue nuclear weapons, although the nuclear file, negotiations around the nuclear issue, that gets deferred to a later phase. Those were what the terms were, and everybody believed 2 days ago, okay, is there going to be a deal? But just like late February and just like last June, as soon as you get close to a deal, that's when Donald Trump and Netanyahu have been known to invade and engage in the worst faith tactics. By the way, this has been Donald Trump's entire life story. He's never been a negotiator. He's never been a builder. He's always been a fraud. He's always been a destroyer. And he uses the pretext of negotiations based on good faith to sucker punch you. That's been his whole life story. He's a sucker puncher, the lowest of the low scum, a sucker puncher. That's who Donald Trump is.
Whether you're planting now or later, Fast Growing Trees has everything you need to make your dream yard a reality, starting with the best quality and selection of plants delivered to your door. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest online nursery with over 1,600 unique trees and plants. They've been delivering trees and plants since 2005, so they know how to do it right. They have all the plants that your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving home. Their Live and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy, ready to thrive in your yard. All plants and trees are locally grown in the US and cared for by experts before they ship to you. So I ordered a lemon tree from Fast Growing Trees a few years ago at this point, and it is still going strong. Every time I walk up to my door, I get hit with the smell of fresh citrus. It's amazing being able to grow my own fruit right in my yard without hiring a landscaper or spending a fortune. Fast Growing Trees saved me easily like 90% of the cost of hiring a landscaper to do this for me, and I didn't have to give up an entire Saturday driving around to nurseries that may or may not have had what I wanted. No messy car, no wasted trips, no guessing. They delivered everything right to my door, and it actually thrived. This season, they have the best deals for your yard, including up to half off tons of plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 20% off their purchase when using the code Meidas at checkout. That's 20% off their purchase at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Meidas at checkout. MEIDAS. Now is the perfect time to plant. Use Meidas to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show.
Here's the message that he posted this morning. Again, a slap in the face to the Pakistani negotiators because he's demanding they enter a formal alliance with Israel. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? And all these other nations. It should be noted that yesterday, during a conference call with Arab nations, Donald Trump also said, hey, I need you to join this alliance with Netanyahu and Israel. And apparently all of the Arab nation leaders who were on this call just went mute. And then Donald Trump tried to make it into a joke, and he was like, all right, anybody still there? It ain't funny when you behave this way. The stakes cannot be higher. These are matters of life and death, war and peace. And when you present yourself as an unreliable, unpredictable fraud maniac, you are empowering China. You are empowering Russia. You are empowering the BRICS bloc as an alternative to NATO. By the way, while all of this is taking place, Russia's attacks on Kyiv have escalated significantly, and coming out of Russia's defense ministry, they're saying that they're going to completely destroy and level Kyiv right now, and they've ordered all diplomats and anybody from the West to leave Kyiv. They say they're going to be leveling Kyiv, and at the same time, you have Zelensky with his drone technology being able to strike within Moscow. The war that Donald Trump claimed that he was going to be able to end in 24 hours or even before he took office, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Not only has Donald Trump failed, but things have escalated significantly there. Oh, and you saw the video I posted this morning of the Venezuelans burning Donald Trump and Marco Rubio in effigy. They don't want him there. The world is on fire on Memorial Day as a result of this psychotic maniac. But here's what Trump posts. He goes, negotiations with the Islamic Republic of Iran are proceeding nicely. It will only be a great deal for all or no deal at all. Back to the battlefront and shooting, but bigger and stronger than ever before, and nobody wants that. Then he says it should be mandatory for these countries, all of the Arab nations, at a minimum, simultaneously sign on to the Abraham Accords. Those countries are Saudi Arabia, UAE, you're already a member, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, and Bahrain. Bahrain's already a member. It may be possible that one or two have a reason for not doing so, and that will be accepted, but most should be ready, willing, and able to make this settlement with Iran a far more historic event. Then Donald Trump says maybe the Islamic Republic of Iran will join the Abraham Accords. Maybe Iran wants to be an ally of Israel. Maybe Iran wants to be an ally of Israel. What are you talking about? Now, I do want to show you what a normal former president actually writes on Memorial Day. This is what we should be reflecting on Memorial Day. Former President Obama. On Memorial Day, we pay tribute to the brave men and women in uniform who gave their lives for this country that we love. It is a debt that we can never fully repay, but we must never stop trying. I'll always be grateful to our fallen heroes and their families whose sacrifice reminds us of what it means to live for something greater than ourselves. This was our message at the MeidasTouch. Memorial Day asks something simple of us. Remember the service members who lost their lives, the families who carry that loss every day, and the responsibility we all share to never treat that sacrifice lightly. This shouldn't be about left versus right or political divisions. Honoring those who gave their lives for this country should be something that brings us together. As this account also posts, this Memorial Day, let's remember the 13 American service members who lost their lives in the Iran war, along with all the brave men and women who gave their lives serving our country. Let me remind you that Donald Trump previously said that the Presidential Medal of Freedom is much better than the Congressional Medal of Honor because the Medal of Honor is for people who are in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets or they're dead, while the Medal of Freedom is for healthy, beautiful people who give Donald Trump lots of money, like Miriam Adelson, who gave Donald Trump all of that money. One of the things that she wanted, of course, was the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Here, play this clip.
I have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman. It's very... And they're rated equal.
Let us also remember that 5 days before Memorial Day, Donald Trump diminished the deaths of the 13 service members who died as a result of his catastrophic and unlawful war in Iran. Let's play this clip.
13. We've lost in 2 major wars. We took over Venezuela. We essentially took over Iran, and we've lost so far 13 people. Somebody else would have lost 100,000 people. Okay, but I get a kick when I look at somebody on television. He's lost 13 people.
Let us also remember that last year, Memorial Day, when Donald Trump gave a speech, he said that grocery prices are down, all prices are down, and gas is $1.98 a gallon. Let's play this clip.
But think of it, grocery prices are down, gasoline prices are down, and we're down just in time. $1, we had numerous states, $1.98 a gallon, just in time for Memorial Day weekend. How about that? Good time.
And let us also not forget what Donald Trump said when he was campaigning in 2015 about John McCain, that he's not a real hero, Trump said, because he was captured. Here, play this clip.
He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured, okay?
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Happy Memorial Day, but let's also remember and reflect on what Memorial Day is really all about. We're grateful to have you as subscribers to the MeidasTouch Network. We're grateful to be in this fight with you. Hit subscribe. Help us get to 7 million subscribers. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed, so double check your subscription. Hit subscribe, turn notifications on. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.